Alrighty. So we have a few things to catch up on here, as tonight is going to be very potentially exciting on a blood moon, no doubt.
Blood moon eclipse.
That's very fitting for today.
Wow.
Yeah, wowzers. When is that supposed to be happening? In like
around
3 hours?
Like around 10:40ish, but
2
for
hours
us it doesn't matter because we have a big ass storm outside, so we'll never see it. Let's go ahead and not waste any time because we potentially have a lot to get into tonight. As a prince meeting is now looming over the air. But before we get into that, there's one little tick of business we have to touch on. That's Crescent. During the last game, your beast slipped out in that conflict. You cannot hold it together. That's a tenet that you broke. You lost control for a fraction of a moment. Now you have a stain. Go ahead and roll your humanity check to see if you dive further into the darkness.
God, I hope not. It was
empty boxes. So whatever is not
empty boxes.
Yep, whatever's not occupied by stains or humanity. You currently are sitting at 4 humanity.
Oh no, she's gonna be fine.
I already got one success.
We'll say just a little tag onto the end of our last closing. As you slip into death once again, Crescent, a somber pride burns inside you. You got away. Again, he's humiliated you. Duncan McTavish. Shot and maimed you twice now. And as you feel that stress, that pride begin to break into anger, you relax. As a thought comes to your mind, he may have left his mark on you again. But you left yours as well this time. It's a shallow victory, but an improvement. Maybe tomorrow night he won't be so lucky. The day at the city of Seattle has been a tense one. The calm in the storm that citizens were now enjoying has been broken by the latest breaking news. The last drop, now another terrorist site. A building that had gone up in flames as it was packed full of people. Right now the city is in mourning, as many news articles show people offering memorials to the now cindered club. Hearts go out to the lost employees and owner of Jordan Ramirez, as he was never found. We know better. But amongst this, new stress begins to nerve into the city as people realize that the terrorist that has been plaguing them for some months now is still at large, the police unable to do anything about it. So yet again, husbands and wives hug their family, travel in groups to work, do whatever they can to try and stay as safe as possible, as the chaos in the city is yet to abate. In lighter news, there appears to be a film production happening in the city. At Discovery Park, potentially. Many news articles and news broadcasts have announced, many morning talk shows have been abuzz with this new film project that has been rumored to be collecting themselves and setting up around the park. Many joggers and would-be nature enthusiasts have been barred from entering the entire area, as now there's a thick layer of security preventing civilian traffic to and from. Must be a high budget. People are tweeting about armed guards, even. Must be one of those big shots from Hollywood. Oh well. Hopefully people listen to news and don't try to slip in. It'd be a really expensive mistake to catch someone that wasn't supposed to be on film. But at this point, Acer, you being the thin blood that you are first to awaken. As life begins to breathe into you once again, you immediately feel your body aching and sore as you are still trying to fend off that massive blast of inferno that our lovely witch has left its mark on you. You still have 2 points of aggravated damage.
First things first. I need a drink. And, he's just going to do his daily routine, get himself showered, dressed, looking all nice. And he's going to head to the infirmary to see if there's any spare bags available.
Okay, well, regardless, as you awaken, you still feel that itch in the back of your throat. I need your morning rouse check.
Oh, success.
You feel the bars on your beast weakening moment by moment, but your mental fortitude holds firm. So far, we haven't recovered the losses from the missing patients or those that were pulled out of the program due to Genghis' onslaught, publicly known as a gas leak. Luckily, Danica has still done well to get things back in working order. You've noticed she's surprisingly a lot more organized. She's always been a diligent one, never so studious. Interesting change. Maybe near-death experiences have that effect on you, but as you open the freezer, it is very well stocked.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. AB positive. Ooh, I love that. I'm just gonna take 2 blood bags.
All right, take 2 blood bags. So I have to ask, are you going to try and heal any of this aggravated damage?
I will, after I at least heal 2 hunger, because that's really what's concerning me.
All right, well, allow it. You take your time to, not to ask, you do slink your way back to your lab for privacy?
Absolutely. God,
Okay.
I just want to do it in front of everybody.
I need to be sure.
Take those back. Actually, I will take 3 bags.
Okay.
Since I'm already there. I'll take 3 bags, but only 2 of them are to slake my hunger.
All right. You slate 2 hunger as you quickly gorge down your meal. As you can already still feel the soreness of your body. Go ahead and give me 3 rouse checks.
Alrighty. And right back where I started. 2 failures.
Alrighty. Well, it's a good thing that you took a preemptive snack, as feeling just another bit of that burning pain. You feel the charred flesh that still crusts along your joints and shoulders begin to flake away to dust as fresh sinew and muscle and skin begin to now cover the exposed burns along your torso and abdomen. Now it just looks like you have a bad sunburn, as if you had maybe had a bad acid accident, some kind of caustic chemicals splashed across your body. It is unsightly and it still hurts, but you're on the mend. But you can already feel your mouth grow dry as soon as the blood hits your lips, as you just hear that low rumbling growl. You realize you're at fault for this, boy.
See what you want? Saved quite a few people.
Did you see the news? I don't think so.
I have some other things to worry about. As he starts firing up his alchemy set, just turning on a couple burners very carefully, because after last night he's just kind of like, okay, a little high.
As you kind of like jolt it back, you just hear, don't be so damn righteous. You didn't go to save those people.
He just starts to get to work, and he's going to try and create a far reach pill.
All right, go ahead and give me your intelligence plus your alchemy.
Intelligence, alchemy, okay.
You may add your lab as a bonus to this, because it is part of your advantage.
5 successes.
5 successes. You almost jump off your feet as you add a final last drop to the finished chemical, and it flashes in your face. You stumble backwards a moment, just, fire, fire! Billy Brain screams fire! And you look back as some of the fog clears, and this liquid is almost a ruby clear.
Oh, didn't need this. Good. Okay. And he's just gonna ball that sucker up into a pill, shake it a little bit.
This is a heightened reach. Heightened far reach.
Ooh, I remember you, friend. You are definitely coming with me.
You're really starting to get the hang of this.
Okay. What time is it? Can we pick up our other friends?
Currently, by the way, they did consume that blood bag. But the way you are sitting right now, it is very early in the morning. It's about 20 minutes past 6, just after sundown. You woke up very, very early, and the sun should be fully set in probably a few moments.
Okay, that means Glitch should be up anytime soon right now. And he's going to text and see how Medico's doing.
What do you say?
He's just kind of a dork. He's just going to text, hey, how's everything going? Just checking in. How's your night? Everything's cool with Crescent. Don't worry.
There's a few minutes that kind of goes by as you send the text, and you start to get that little bit of that guy anxiousness going, I probably should have maybe phrased that better before.
Okay. And he's going to open it up.
The response goes, I know when you're bullshitting me. I've seen the news, dumbass. First off, thank you for texting. Second, I feel like I've coughed up a lung for 3 days straight now. Third, I'm really fucking irritable because Crescent still hasn't come see me and I could have used a friend. But no. So, tell her I would love to see her sometime, if she gets the time.
One, to be fair, kind of had a terrorist on her ass, fixing that tonight. Two, very much a dumbass, but still a lovable winky face.
You receive...
Thinks about it for a second, goes, I'm gonna delete the winky face. And then said that.
Oh boy.
You just receive a animated JoJo gif of just staring at you for a moment before a second text comes in. Before a second text comes in, it just simply says, this wouldn't have something to do with Discovery Park being locked down, would it?
As a resident dumbass, I cannot lie. Yep, that's exactly what's happening.
A quick message comes very, very fast. If you don't text me by the end of the night, I'll be going there.
Texting you now is why I'm doing it. Keep you informed so you don't need to worry. Send.
Your phone starts ringing.
Oh god. Okay, that's a lot of communication. Okay. All right. He'll answer it.
You just hear, Acer?
See, this is why texting probably would
Shut
have
up.
been better. Okay.
You watch Crescent's back. If I find out that something happened to her, I mean this with all the love and respect, I'm burning you and that center to the ground.
Duly noted.
I'm not in the mood for it, Acer. Between ghosts and all this shit happening in the city, and currently I feel like my ribs have gotten piled drive by a jackhammer, I'm not in the mood for Crescent's games. I'm really not. You make sure she's okay. Or I will.
Look, to be fair, I cannot keep up with their skill, but I can at least say this. I'll do everything that I can. Okay, just have a little faith in her.
I do, but it's really hard to maintain that faith when she never comes and tells me what's going on anymore. I don't even know if she's really my friend anymore at this point.
I could guarantee you she is. She's just not feeling well. In the most literal sense, she's not feeling.
How can
like
you not
emotion.
feel when you're dead?
It's try. Okay. Just first off, a lot of water. Maybe some lemon water. It might sting a bit, but trust me, it helps.
Thanks, jackass. I'll stick with my matcha tea.
That works too. Secondly, I don't know. I felt it too once before. Just something about being kindred. If you're not on top of stuff, it makes you lose feeling. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird, but trust me when I'm saying she's still your friend. She still loves you to bits. I'm pretty sure because she has threatened my life on multiple occasions to make sure that you were okay.
She snickers. That just means she likes you.
I'll take your word on that one.
Let me put it this way. She's threatened me every single time that I try to get involved, but then literally the next 5 seconds she tells me how much she needs me. That just means she likes you. It's how she shows affection.
Shit, I wonder when the second part is going to happen to me.
It probably already has, and you're probably too blind to notice. No offense.
None taken. Look, that's the reason why I'm talking to you. I just want to keep you in the loop and, just wait for her. Trust me, I got a plan. I got something brewing for that.
That doesn't really give me a lot of confidence, Acer. The last time you had a plan, we had to literally sneak our way out like 2 drunk teenagers out of a restaurant so your sister wouldn't see us, and that did not go well.
This is a different plan. Completely different. It's a one-on-one with you and her. It's, again, something about being kindred. It can come back. I know it can, because it happened to me. I'm just trying to get her to that point.
There's a long pause. I'm coming back to work tomorrow night. I'll see her there.
Oh. Perfect.
And Danica ain't gonna fucking stop me this time.
Done deal. I'll text you and keep you informed if I'm not being shot at by a high-powered sniper rifle.
Excuse me now? That's it. I'm going to the park. I'm getting my gear.
Medico. I'm taking point. Okay?
That doesn't make me feel any better either.
I have a plan.
That's 3 for 3, buddy.
It's a good plan.
That's okay. Now I'm definitely scared.
Look, just wait for my text. Just have a little faith.
Fine.
Thank you. We'll all make it back.
Only because I tried to sprint out the front door just now and I nearly fainted.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Fuck you. And she hangs up.
And with that, he is going to grab his backpack and he is going to start shoving a lot of tech in there. So, this is going to be interesting.
What kind of supplies are you bringing?
He is bringing a fully charged laptop. He is going to bring his cell phone, little mini satellite antenna. Let's see, what other tech would he possibly need? Probably going to bring his police scanner. Okay. Definitely going to bring that one. And last but not least, he's bringing the prototype.
Are you going to try and spend any time to make any improvements, or are you still going to try to run this field test with this guy?
It still hasn't had a proper field test, and as much as I would like to improve it, you can't improve something if you don't know how it works, so he's just going to shove that bad boy right in there.
All right. You put it in your bag, and it does concern you that it's still warm, and it hasn't ever been turned on.
Quick scan. Well, Crescent's still asleep. Just a quick scan.
You're just going to take a quick look at it?
Yeah, if you're saying it's warm and it hasn't even been turned on, then yeah, that's not an okay thing. We're gonna check on that.
Give me a wits plus tech.
That's 3.
3 successes?
3 successes.
The wires looked intact. Everything looks mechanically sound. But what concerns you is the fact that, you know how when a battery has been hooked up to a circuit for so long, the electricity is still technically running? This is a very big battery for a very small output.
let's get a fresh battery in there just in case. I don't feel comfortable because from Acer as well as my own personal experience in dealing with tech, that's a really bad sign. So we're just going to switch out the battery just in case.
You have enough resources to say I would say you have enough stuff on stock, so easy enough. Where do you leave the warm battery?
So here's the thing. I don't know much about batteries, but I know once it's disconnected, it should slowly start to cool down. But I don't trust my luck. So I'm going to go to my safe, take everything out, put it in a box, put it in my closet, kind of hide it a little nicely, then put the battery in the safe and close it. We're going to leave it there until I get back.
Okay. All right. So, as you kind of shut that door, what do you do next? As you hear a heavy chunk.
With that, since I'm not bringing a disguise because there's no room whatsoever with all the stuff that I have in there, he's going to put on his regular cloak, throw on his mask, put his hood up.
A sound just came from the safe behind you.
Right, let's go see if Crescent's up.
On that note, Crescent, the moon begins to rise as the night shadows begin to overtake the city. Oblivion calling you back to your consciousness. And immediately, that wild orchid that feeds you the strength you need to exist begins to demand its penance. Give me your morning rouse check. Failure. You wake up as now that flower begins to reach the beginning of its full bloom. That cascading void of the oblivion just spiraling like a black hole beneath it. As you feel your skin tighten, your fangs itch, and you are really irritable. You gain a hunger. You are sitting at 4 hunger. The moment you wake up, you know you are not doing too hot as immediately, but just your naturally enhanced hearing. You could hear the thundering heartbeats all around you of the 60-odd patients that exist within this facility. And you have to start white-knuckling a little bit just to remind yourself, people, not people. Not people again, not people. And as you slowly begin to calm yourself down, you hear footsteps and a rather enthusiastic on your door.
What?
Okay, someone just woke up.
You know, just because you get up earlier than everybody else doesn't mean you can go parading on our doors so early.
Okay, normally I always respect the sleep, but yeah, Princey's gonna be very pissed if we're not there like right on time.
Yeah, and I'm going to be very pissed in about 2 seconds.
Just kind of holds the door handle.
Sorry, just give me a second, okay?
Okay. And after hearing her calm down, he just kind of lets it go like, I don't think I would have been able to help that anyways.
I'm just going to get dressed really quick and then I'll come out and meet him.
You are still sitting at 2 superficial damage if you want to risk healing that at all.
That would put me up to a 5 hunger. I don't know if I want to risk that right now.
That's why I'm asking.
I'll deal with it for right now until I can get something.
As Acer kind of turns away from you, closing the door, give you a bit of privacy as you get dressed. Your hair and your skin back to its flawless ivory. But there's a very large black and blue splotch that comes around from the right of your collarbone down. The leftover remains from that one faceful, high-powered round that shot straight through you and nearly took your head off. You look at your body, it is covered in bruises and very shallow knife cuts. A reminder of last night.
Hey, sir?
Yep, still here.
I know this is probably very inconvenient, but I probably need to feed soon.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's...
That just means that we gotta find you someone to feed off of, and quick. So,
yeah, but I kind of have trouble with mortals. So if you know any kindred volunteers, that would be great. I guess I don't really have room to be picky right now, though.
well, see, here's the thing. I would totally volunteer, but you have stated constantly that you trying to, replenish yourself on me is going to take like 3 of me. I mean, I'm just saying.
Grayson does this all the time, right? We just need to find somebody in his herd, say that we're donating blood. I'll just do the whole forget-me-not thing, and it'll be good.
I can drink from bags. I could probably hide it better than you can.
You can drink from bags?
It's an acquired taste, but yes.
Ugh.
Immediately as he brings up blood bag, you actually, Acer, watch as Crescent goes physically ill for a moment. Even just a mere thought, Crescent, of the second of drinking from a filtered, processed blood bag. That rancid taste of chemical and preservative just clings to the back of your throat like a smoggy day in LA. It's enough just to make you white knuckle, and you can watch as your fangs already itch and extend just out of disgust.
All right, I can't do that.
Okay. How on a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you?
I've been worse. Let's go with like a 8.5, maybe 9.
Acer, you're growing already increasingly concerned as she begins leading you back towards the lavatory through the secret entrances. You can physically watch her as she passes by certain secret openings that would offer into blind corners. People happen to walk by, staff, tenants, anyone that belongs to the center. She stops for a moment, and you see her eyes just look over. You can hear a small rumbling growl in her throat from over. She just shakes her head and pushes forward. But on the surface, there's an errant confliction. You see the beast inside her. She wants to leap out of that corridor. She wants to sink her fangs any second into the nearest vein that she could tap into, but she always hesitates. And despite her violence, despite her belligerence, that's something not even Grayson would do. Grayson feeds so happily, especially from those that revere him. But every time Crescent passes a mortal, she seems to be white-knuckling just to pull away. This preference might be deeper than you thought.
All right, I'm going to keep a note on that. And meet at the garage. Garage. Yeah, we gotta hunt, and quick. I'm going to run back because I almost forgot to bring my katana, so I'm going to run back and grab that.
Yo, Adachi, you got it. I will warn you, carrying that around in the street, very obvious. There's no way for you to keep that really hidden.
Yeah, that's a big thing, so not a problem at all.
I'm just giving you the warning. We'll deal with that in a moment. But as you grab the last of your supplies, Crescent, you quickly peel off to go towards the garage.
All I hear is him say garage, and like legitimately that is I'm tunnel visioned on one word. He said garage, I'm going to garage.
Your vision is starting to tunnel to pinholes just by the sheer amount of irritation. You do manage to make your way, thanks to the secret tunnels, to the garage unnoticed, able to take shelter into the dark. But Acer, as you grab your sword, your phone goes off again.
Oh, God damn it. What now? I'm going to see, does it have an ID?
Smiley face with a tornado on it.
Hurricane. Little busy. What can I do for you?
The phone stops ringing, and it rings again. Same thing.
Does no one like texting anymore? And I'll call him.
As soon as you put the phone to your ear, where the fucking hell are you? Why isn't Grayson answering his phone?
Why do you think he's not answering his phone? We have a terrorist on our ass, and the prince is also trying to ram up there as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to call you about, because you should have been here 10 minutes ago.
What the fuck do you mean 10 minutes ago? I still got...
It's
shit.
sunset!
Oh, all right, we'll be there soon.
You know, you're not really making our deal any more lucrative by doing this, man.
You know what? That's fair. Why don't you go ahead and handle the terrorist, and I'll handle everything else, yeah?
Okay, why don't I just go ahead and delete every single bit of information I have about where your potential sire is? I give your family information to the fucking prince, and he can take it out of your hide instead.
Oh, no, that's great. Cool.
Oh.
First off, that just puts me back at square one. That's not a problem. However, I do have a problem with my family. Don't want that happening, so I'll tell you what. I don't break your fucking system in half, and you stop threatening me. I'm fucking sick and tired of people telling me what to fucking do. So you listen to me and you listen to me well. I will be there when I get there, when I'm well and prepared, and I don't fucking die. And I'm gonna hang up.
Give me a charisma plus intimidation. And I'm going to give you a +2 die to that.
Holy shit. I have never heard him do that.
Get this man a freaking Emmy.
After hangs up, he's just, oh my god. Oh, I just pissed him off. And let me see.
I think he needs a drink.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Yeah.
Your phone goes off again.
What?
3, 2, 1. Immediately, every single alarm in your lab begins going off. Your computer begins to sizzle as the screen begins to static, and you can instantly start to see smoke coming out of the actual computer itself. The sprinklers in your lab all go off at once, as you are now immediately drowned in fire sprinkler fluid. And then it stops on a dime. Now listen to me, you little thin-blooded shit. I appreciate the backbone. You're gonna need that if you're gonna want to fucking live. But guess what? The only thing that's stopping your group from getting the ass chewing of a lifetime, because remember, we're still in the cam. Schedules are schedules, and we're both dealing with this, as you call it, a fucking terrorist. And I'm on your side. So if this is the way you treat your friends, I might as well throw you back to your enemies. Maybe I'll leak all your information to Genghis. Maybe I'll tell the prince that you've been espionaging him the entire time, and you're the reason why Duncan is actually in town. I can fucking ruin you like we discussed. 2 unstoppable forces willing to take each other out, but the click of a fucking button. Respect the backbone. I'm gonna let this one go. We are going to work as partners. We're going to move past this because tonight it's a lot of stress already. But don't you disrespect me again for the amount of shit that I have to keep off your back. Hold up to your side of the bargain, Thin Blood, or I will make that decision for you. And he hangs up on me. Fortunately, he rolled 6 successes.
No way I was going to beat that.
And as a margin, you take 3 points of superficial willpower damage. As that social conflict, you are walking away shaking, realizing Hurricane may be smooth, and you may have a silver smile. But this venture's got some bite.
Why the fuck am I here? And I'm just going to head to the garage.
Fair enough. As you head to the garage, let's go ahead and move over to our other lovely kindred. As Grayson and Onyx, life begins to breathe into your limbs once again. The small flickers of existence that bring you to the surface now will you back into existence as you both begin to take quick, short breaths as the Vitae pushes back to the surface. I need both you guys to go ahead and roll your morning rouse checks. Onyx, you basically roll a hunger die. If you fail, you get a little hungrier. This happens every start of the evening.
I am good on my hunger.
Good. Onyx as well?
10, so I think that's a yeah.
That is a success. Neither of you grow hungrier as both you begin to awake in Onyx's haven. Grayson, your head is still spinning. Even in the dim light of Onyx's haven, you wake up and are acutely aware of, wow, these are really soft fucking clothes. This couch is really comfortable. Isn't there something really important I'm supposed to be doing this evening? I don't fucking know. It's great here, man.
How many times do I actually get to wake up and the world isn't burning? Oh, that's not bad. As I very slowly get up from the couch. Hey, Super Sleuth, you happen to be awake?
At this point, Onyx, as you awake pretty much the exact same time as Titan, your hair has regrown, your appearance back to the day you die, and you hear Grayson's voice coming from down the hall in the living room. And that's not right. And it hits you. Shit, you let him stay here. You have an evening routine to accomplish, and you look like shit in comparison to what you normally do. And he's here. Your routine is not broken. You can already feel the panic start to set in.
Yeah, I'm here. Give me a second. Just don't touch anything. Don't touch anything.
So, no, don't go to the dryer then.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. No, I will stay here. Yep, right where I am. Begin to fold the blankets she put me.
I will. I don't have time to probably put the side shave in at the moment. But I'll throw on some semblance of makeup and grab some fishnet stockings, a skirt, some monster boots, and a hoodie, and just get ready.
I have to ask,
then
as you present yourself in the mirror to kind of give yourself a look over, does it satisfy your mental disorder? Does it satisfy that inner tick?
Probably not, no. I mean, it's a little better. It's a little looser than...
Give me a composure plus resolve. As you look at yourself, you can already feel yourself digging your nails and like, it's not right. It's not right. It's not good enough. This looks like sloppy teenage girl. Why am I dressed like this? It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Why did I let him sleep here? As immediately those thoughts begin to just vomit through your mind.
3.
3 is enough. As you guys start counting, it's not so bad. Could be worse. Could be worse. You'll fix it later. It's okay. Could be worse. You'll fix it later.
I'll just do the best I can, fluff it a little bit in the mirror, and walk out to the office and just kind of pass him with a quick wave, not really looking at him. I'm like, I'll go grab your clothes. And along the way, I'm tidying up anything that he touched.
As Onyx comes out of the hall, you look over to see the shock of pink hair, but it looks different. Looks actually vastly different. Your mind is still hazy and swooning, but you do see she frantically, as soon as you walk by, she takes the blanket from you that you've neatly folded, and she kind of shakes her head a little bit, just muttering, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, as she starts gathering little things that are out of proportion. Even by a slight centimeter, she runs by, adjusts it, and begins moving in this wave of chaos, controlled order and chaos, down the front of her apartment towards the office, just adjusting things as she goes. It seems like she even smooths out any little bits of carpet here and there with her foot as she walks by you where you would have stepped. Every little detail seems to need to be exactly the where it left it, and anything that you've adjusted, even by the slightest chance, maybe you've adjusted it, she double checks and corrects.
Going back to my previous experience with working with certain illnesses, and as I have noticed that kind of behavior, like in the night previous, would I have any inclinations about it?
Right now, under the effects of LSD, it's just fucking weird, man. This is really bizarre. It's cool. It's finally someone respects cleanliness and order. You haven't had a lot of that recently. It's fucking weird, though.
I guess at that point, I just kind of watch her, like, and every time she, like, goes to straighten or, like, correct something, I watch a little bit more intently, like, just nod my head.
I'll grab him his clothes as well, and I'm going to turn on the TV and old school grab a VHS tape from one of the shelves in my library and start recording the news about what happened.
You plonk in a new tape as you really switch to the news at your annoyance. They started a bit early today, it seems, as it seems to be halfway through discussing the raging inferno that has now claimed the last drop, as Jordan Ramirez, as well as many other of the staff and many individuals that were attending that have been reported, have either lost their lives or have gone missing and are still in a rapid search to find them. Additionally, it does broadcast news about a potential movie shooting in Discovery Park, and your mind immediately starts making clicks of, that's an interesting cover-up.
Can I, at that point, one, grab my notebook to start taking meticulous notes, but also look through and see if I have anything on Discovery Park?
Discovery Park, go ahead and give me for this. This is going to be an intelligence plus streetwise, and you can add your library as a bonus to that roll.
Cool. 4.
4. Discovery Park, you would know, is a hiking trail, also natural wildlife preserve on the northwest side of core Seattle. It's been around for quite a long time. A favorite local hotspot to any nature enthusiast due to the heavy amounts of forest, cliff-lined beachside, and a great overlook. You do know there's also a well-respected water treatment facility planned not too off of the main forest area of Discovery Park. In the last decade or so, it has been noted that people have gone missing in that area. Some reportedly due to potential sex trafficking rings and drug deals gone wrong, possible gang influence, and you would also, just by your natural kindred nature, there is a high probability of kindred activity within those areas due to the fact that that area gets very, very, very dark due to the tree canopy. You have not necessarily spent a lot of time, particularly in Discovery Park, as that would leave you vulnerable alone, trying to find things further, but it is definitely a local hotspot. But to see that this area, you would know based on records, that has been entirely closed down for a quote-unquote movie production, that has never happened once. Not in the history of Seattle has anyone ever used that park officially for a higher enterprise entertainment purpose.
Great. Getting really sick of dealing with kindred.
And it also clicks on you from last night. That was the vision you saw where Duncan was hiding as he fled from Crescent and Acer.
I'll just write all of that down, anything that I find. Which also reminds me that I need to start putting together a official statement to the families for the 2 that we discovered passed away. Well, that's what we'll be telling them. So I'll just start taking notes furiously and look at Grayson and be like, you should probably call your friends to come get you. I've got a lot of work to do.
It's a fair point, but Storyteller, if I remember correctly, my phone is trashed, isn't it?
You really weren't aware of that, and you go, "Oh, that's great. I'll just call my friends. They'll come pick me up. It's perfect." You already changed into the freshly laundered clothes. Very delightful, easy bounce scent. Nothing too jarring. Your clothes are nice and pressed and a wash. You reach into your pocket. Oh, it's not there. Oh, there's your effects. You reach over, pick up your phone, and there is a massive bullet hole straight through the center of it. And then you look at your vest and realize that the shot that Crescent shot was probably the coolest shot ever, because it literally shot through your jacket, through your phone, and hit Duncan square in the chest. Now that was funny. The look on his face, priceless.
Grayson, as this slowly washes over him, Grayson looks at his jacket, opens it up, looks at the phone, puts the phone and looks through both holes like, how is it? Okay, she's like the thing she does with firearms, I swear.
I'm so impressed, yes. So could you... Shit, okay. I have Acer's number, right?
You do.
Okay. I'll give him a call while I'm still taking notes, kind of only half listening. I'm almost enveloped in my work.
It is almost all-encompassing as you quickly just dial the number, pull up to your ear. As Acer, you are, I would be safe to say, you are profoundly irritated as you make your way through the secret passageways. Definitely feel a little rattled. Your mind's going through, why the fuck did you do that? Why would you piss off the only potential ally you made within this fucking vampiric city? And now you've gone and really poked the bear on this one. God damn it. And then all of a sudden your phone goes off again as you're about to hit the garage.
Oh, great. I can't wait to fucking get yelled at some more. And I just pick it up. What?
Excuse me.
Onyx. Sorry. Not having a great day.
Yeah, I can tell. I figured none of us would be. But I got a lot of work to do, and I have some appointments this morning. So if you would like to come get your friend, Maybe we can chat later this evening?
Oh, yeah.
You still have my gun and my book.
Yeah. I'm coming by. I'll be there to pick him up.
Thank you.
Yep, be there soon.
I'll give him the address if he doesn't have it.
Oh, during this time, may I try and heal some of my wounds?
You may go for it and do so. I believe you're trying to heal the superficial?
Yes, I have some superficial.
All right, you mend 1 damage per rouse. How many are you trying to go for?
Let's go with 2. We don't have to come back to full, but I would like to get rid of some of these aches and pains.
All right, go ahead and give me 2 rouse checks.
Okay, that is 1 success. Oh, come back here, please. And 2 successes.
Very good. The dictator remains quiet. You kind of crack your neck a little bit. You feel some of your shoulders kind of pop back into place to Onyx discomfort. A lot of the scratching and bruising on your surface begins to melt away. It's, that's where that part should be. That feels better.
As one of my knuckles notice it's a little crooked. Much better. Start examining my hand like, that bone is straight.
Feeling better, big shot?
I am, actually. Thank you. It's good to have a nice, orderly environment to do such things in.
Glad you approve. Now,
Prove I thrive off this.
Well, you are always welcome to hire Onyx Kennedy's private investigational services.
And I just certainly might.
In fact, Grayson, as the moment she says that, you do feel just instinctively the front lapel of your jacket. You do remember, if I remember correctly, Acer has given you a blank checkbook. You do have access to his resources.
As I pat him. How much do you charge hourly?
It's usually about $200 an hour.
That's chump change for you. You've seen Acer spend more of that on his weed collection.
Well then. So I pull out the checkbook and I pull up. Do you happen to have a pen on you?
Do you have a preference on point and tip? I have like 100 pens.
You do, actually. Looking around and kind of poking your head at the office, you see she's got ballpoint pen, tipped, quill, handmade. She has a myriad of pens, color-coded, organized, some sparkling, some not sparkling, some scented, some not scented. You see vials of old-fashioned quill ink stacked up and organized by color, date, maker, and quality. All of it labeled very well with high-quality labeling paper.
I'll be pulling out the micron felt and ballpoint since it's a check. But I have several. I just hate that feeling of when my hand smears ink across the paper.
True enough, but you can't deny the feeling of a quill between good old writing hand.
Very true.
Stroke of a brush, I'd like to think of it. If she grabs I believe the ballpoint pen, I would take that.
So, Acer, how many dots of resources do you have access? Let Grayson have access to at any given time?
You know what? He hasn't really abused all that much, so I'd probably say at least 3 dots in resources at any given time.
All right, Grayson, you have up to 3 dots worth of resources that you can give up to Onyx. The exact amount, I'll say after you decide. Which I will remind you, 3 dots is quite a lot.
I'll take you for a week.
Okay, I'll say for a week's worth will be his 1 dot of resources. So Acer, you go ahead and scratch off 1 dot of resources till the end of this story.
You got it.
That is what?
So he
20 times 40?
So
200 times 40?
So technically wise, you can add, if you do accept, you can add a dot worth of resources to your advantages, so it ups your resources. Game-wise, I'll say for this, as Grayson kind of writes out the check, gets it, who he's making it out to, he signs it preemptively, kind of thinks for a moment. You see him write that, put a 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. .00. He slides it over as you look over there, and you go a bit wide-eyed as he has just dropped about $100,000 right in front of you on a check.
I'm gonna real quick pilfer through some paperwork that I have on my shelving, and I'm gonna grab a stack. It's about 10 pages thick and neatly stapled, and I'm just gonna have you sign up some paperwork here, and we can chat about it. You know, just basics, cover my bases, insurance purposes, things I will and won't do. Just need your signature on the dotted line.
I sign it as Titan.
I do manage to keep your composure. He does sign the check. And I'll say for this, do sign it with your mask. Because you do realize, even the back of your inebriated mind is, oh wait, I'm dead. You actually watch as Grayson does slip that over to you, and you see that he does write Grayson Holland. Then he looks at it and goes, oh, wait a minute. He grabs it, he writes void on the check, tears a new one off, rewrites it, but then signs it with a different name. Remind me, what is the name that you do use for your mask?
Because
I just know Onyx is going to be bugging me, like, what's that name? I need to know what that name is.
I know I have it somewhere in here.
You can't find it? Make a new one, and we'll just write it down.
Oh, here it is. Darvin Prawn.
You gotta raise an eyebrow as he writes in fine cursive Darvin Prawn and slides the check over. You odd name.
How do you spell that last one?
Prawn.
Like the shrimp.
Like the shrimp. Got
exactly.
it.
Yep.
Not only do I look at that little funny, but with a big bright smile still on my face. I definitely take note of that and put that into the computer for later because it's still sitting right next to me. But I do make a copy. 3. 1 for my records, 1 gets scanned in the system, and 1 is offered to him.
It's very nice print. Very heavy paper. Very good stock.
It sounds like your friend is on his way. So, other than that, I do have other appointments this morning. But we'll be in touch.
Oh, I assume we will. We have a lot to discuss.
And this is a good time now. Switch on back over to Acer and Crescent. As Crescent, at this point, you have now gone to bouts of pacing irritably in the darkness of the parking garage, tapping your nails fervently on the center concrete post till it starts to chip underneath your sharpened superior nails, and then pacing and chipping. The secret entrance opens, and you look over to see Acer just as you break a piece of the concrete off the wall.
I'm gonna continually try and put it back and then be like, oh, fuck
it begins,
and I'm just gonna,
the more you try, the more it just starts to crumble.
I'm just gonna chuck it across the freaking garage. Why do they make that incessant sound?
Acer just kind of goes up to the car that she hid, just unplugs the battery.
It was Grayson's. It was Grayson's truck. There's now a sizable dent in the front of the car where a large piece of concrete has slammed into the front of it.
That's fine. I'll take care of it later.
I'm gonna go to the van.
As you are actually starting to leave the compound, walking in your hip does go off. You hear Rudy's voice. Hey, Coffee Man to Tech Boy. How you doing?
Hey, Coffee Man, what's up?
2 things. I picked up your friends last night. They're chilling out in the high security rooms for now. They said they'd be really comfortable there, and they're happy to wait. So that's taken care of. I locked the fucking door, by the way, just in case. I don't trust that one. She starts fucking singing to a very rabid-looking individual, so I'm just gonna make sure that's fine. Second, I see that you're pulling up. Great. And you see Rudy as he steps out of security and starts waving to you. There's a limousine here, and he wants to speak with you. There's a man here that wants to speak with you. What the fuck should I do?
No.
Hey, so this job is starting to quickly become very stressful. And it wasn't for the fact that our wonderful benefactor has been so kind and gracious to me. I always start to have a lot of concerns because every single time a fucking limousine comes outside our place, I get hurt.
Great. Absolutely great. All right, I'm coming up. First off, good job. Don't worry about them. The singing is keeping the other one in a calm thing, so the singing's good. Secondly, I'll talk to the limo person.
Yeah, they don't want to come inside. They want to wait for you to come out here.
That's great, because we don't have time for them to come inside to serve fucking tea and biscuits. Just wave to Rudy, and as I exit out and pull up next to the limousine, I would just kind of roll down my window.
You roll down your window to a very elaborate stretch limousine. It is... To say that the paint job is immaculate is a complete understatement. There is beautiful filigree along the entire trim of the vehicle, deep, deep black pitch, to the point where it's so polished, you could see the reflection of the full moon in perfect mirror detail, the blackened sheen over it. The rims are custom. Money has been spent in this vehicle. You pull up. You look out the window. The backside window cracks just ever so slightly. Hey, sir. Please step out of the van, as you can hear the familiar voice of Mr. Myers.
Great timing. And he kind of just steps out, gets closer to the window, and just crosses his arms and tries very best to remain calm.
As you step out and step a bit closer, your reflection casting back from the hard limo tint, it begins to roll the rest of the way down as you can see Mr. Myers not looking at you. His sunglasses still on his face as he looks ahead of him. How are you doing this evening?
Bit of a wind tunnel, but I'm managing.
To be expected with what's going on in this city. You'll be happy to know whatever cover-up, for once, was not my doing. Impressive. Seems you may be taking my advice, finally, and starting to pull your weight, but not to worry. I'm not here about that, and I'm not going to be here long. Where's Crescent? Is she available?
She is, but at this stage, probably not best to have her near Kindred.
Fortunate. Well, I appreciate the precaution. Give this to her. We spoke about her little problem.
And he will gingerly take it?
He very carefully and just smoothly holds a very small wrapped parcel in what appears to be a very dark blue gift box, maybe no bigger than a small pill bottle in size. Just gently holds it out to you for you to take it. Still never looks at you. She showed such apprehension when I brought up her sire, and such confliction as well. I sense that not all of her disdains what she goes through. Give her this. It might help her think a bit more clearly.
Thank you.
Stay safe, Acer. And the window already begins to roll up. Before you have time to really do anything else, the limo just gently begins to pull away. It makes a right turn off into the night.
Right. Rudy, just keep everything calm. And for the record, for as trying as you are, you're actually doing a fantastic job, so.
Oh.
Yeah, just...
Thank you. You actually see him smile. He adjusts his tie a little bit. I do my best. The fuck is that thing?
For Crescent.
Oh.
And I just kind of get in the car. I don't roll up the window because he's still talking. Look, I gotta go, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't need to know. Whatever. It's cool. Go do your thing. I got this.
Yeah, I'll fill you in on the details later.
Cool. Have fun, buddy. Just don't, die. Please.
We'll see how the movie goes. I'm the star. And he's just gonna roll up the window and drive away.
You just see, as you roll up the window, you just hear the distance. Oh, fuck! And you just start driving away.
He's gonna lean back and just be like, Crescent.
I'll lean forward and grab it. What is this?
From an old friend.
What do I do? He said
He hands you a very small, deep blue velvet box. About the size of maybe a medium-sized pill bottle in size. It is wrapped with a small lid on it and a very tiny little well-made bow.
There's no note or anything?
Nope. You open the top of the box and there's actually a very wide-brimmed bottle inside. You slowly pull out the bottle and there's a small bit of tag laced with twine that just simply says, Drink me and think clearly, Mr. M. As you look in the bottle, it is a deep, deep blackish looking liquid. It seems almost gelatinous at how thick it is. You kind of slosh it around from side to side. You kind of hold up to the light that comes from the full moon through the windows, and the light barely seems to pierce through, and there is a reddish tint that comes through. It smells like blood. It smells like...
Oh, I'm immediately. I'm so hungry.
You throw that cork out the window and just guzzle the whole shot down in one swallow. And to your disappointment, it slates no hunger. You actually almost spit it back up, and you swallow just instinctually, and something shifts a moment. You feel like this world kind of spins on its head for a moment, and you have to kind of blink a few times, but then the sensation fades as quickly as it came. At this moment, you don't feel any different. Nothing really changed to your irritation. You're still just as hungry as you were when you took a shot of this. Didn't taste bad, though. Tasted even kind of sweet, which is weird for Kindred.
I'm just over-examining the note and, like, looking at every clue that I can. It's just, what? Why? What?
Well, he said he'd help you think clearly.
I don't know what the hell that means other than... I don't know.
I might have a guess.
So, I have to ask Acer, what is your current goal on your way to Grayson? Are you just picking him up, or are you finding Crescent something to eat first?
I'm finding Crescent something to eat on the way to get Grayson.
Okay, for this, we're going to be going a bit of hunting. Are you hunting within your own territory, or are you hitting the core city?
Trying within our own territory first on the way to get him, but specifically since I have no way of finding out who is Kindred or not.
Just give me a person.
I thought you didn't do people.
I don't usually, but I don't really have the capability to be picky right now, do I?
Will that even work?
Yes! Yes, it will work. Doesn't work with you, or things like you, obviously, but it'll work.
You, Ace, you can't help but notice at this point Crescent is starting to shake.
I'm out of options, and I'll just keep my eye out as best as I can.
Are you just going to grab anyone that seems vulnerable?
We're in a van, so it's pretty much going to be one of those, like, open up, grab, pull in, peel off.
Okay. For this, since you're still hunting within your territory, go ahead, give me a wits plus drive.
Alright.
And you can add +2, because I believe your lean is pretty high.
4 successes.
4 successes. So, Acer kind of talks you through Crescent for a moment about what's about to happen. Luckily, he had enough forethought to inform you of his tactic of essentially a snatch and grab. Acer, you drive around the block a few times as you kind of head closer and closer towards Grayson's last location at Onyx Establishment. You know your territory doesn't quite reach that area, so as you get a bit closer, you keep looking and looking and looking. As you then see someone off on their own as they turn a corner. You think, it's gotta be it! You don't really have time to kind of pay attention or be discriminate. You gun it hard as you look at Chris, go, now, go! As Crescent, you quickly lean back, grab the sliding door, pull it open as Gazer guns it right by this individual. You reach out and just grab him by the back of the collar. He immediately screams. Go ahead and give me a strength plus a brawl to see if you can hold on to him. You are essentially committing a kidnapping.
Can't you do your little eye thing to calm him down?
That's after.
I'll even let you add a +1 because it's high speed.
4 successes.
4 successes. It's an ambush. He wasn't ready for it. He didn't fuck it up. As you just, with a snarl, snatch him by the back of his scruff and just one arm, throw him into the back of the van, sliding the door shut, plunging the back into darkness. You hear, Acer, this man sliding through and poof, on the side of the van as he kind of rocks to one side as you begin immediately peeling out, looking in your back view mirror and hoping no one has seen you. Alright. As you kind of peel out, Luckily, there's no one seems to be immediately following behind you that would have witnessed this. Before he has a chance to scream, you leap on top of him, feeling your talons sink into his shoulders, but you hesitate for just a split second as your fangs are outwards. As you see in front of you, you can smell it. This man has a heartbeat. He is alive. He is immortal. And immediately you begin to feel your eyes welling up as flashes of memories start coursing through your mind. Memories of when you were alive. Memories of what it was like to be abused, to be taken. And your mind flashes back to a very specific memory. A memory the first time an abusive boyfriend got you high on drugs, had you alone and kidnapped. You felt so vulnerable, so alone as a predator seemed to hover over you just like you are now. And you were only saved by the grace of your father calling in a police check and managing to find you before anything worse could happen. You're that predator right now. And that prey exclusion just wells up to the surface as immediately blood and tears begin falling down the side of your face. You want to push this. You want to give in and feed on this man. You're going to take some willpower damage. You take 2 points of superficial willpower damage as you grit your teeth and force yourself through. You feel yourself profusely crying through as you bite down to the neck and he screams before the euphoria of the kiss causes him to relax underneath your muscles. You feel yourself wrap around him as fresh fear-filled blood, acute resonance of fear and panic begin to flood your mind. It is a cooling sensation that begins to fill your emptiness from the outward in. And you can't stop, even through the distress. As you feel yourself slipping into a panic, you guzzle deeply. I need you to make another hunger frenzy check to see if you can stop yourself in time. Okay, so the entire time, the sounds coming from behind you are alarming. You hear a bestial snarl coming from behind you. It sounds like a lion has just tackled its prey as the struggling almost immediately stops, as if the cat itself has completed its hunt and bitten into the neck. In this case, literally. The fighting stops, but that growl, that bestial hunger that begins to rattle the back of the van still continues. 3 successes. Check. 3 successes is just enough. How much do you wish to take?
I want to satiate as much as I can without killing him.
You could take up to 3. He will be very inebriated and very weak and injured, but he will probably live. He seems like a stronger individual. As you get dig your nails into his backside, he seems to be a very, very well-bit young man as you take 3 hunger. But as you drink, you finally tear yourself away, Acer, to your relief, as she does practically throw this man on the other side. He rolls over like a rag doll, unmoving, as you see Crescent, your roommate, just scrabble to the back of the van, just wide-eyed. As a flash of street light comes overhead, you can see just profuse amounts of reddened tears flooding down the side of her face as she just grabs the side of her head, clutching her hair tight as she seems to almost slip into a panic attack. As Crescent, you take 2 stains. You have broken your exclusion. You are fed not only on a mortal, but a young man, an innocent.
Is there like a alleyway that I can quickly get into?
It's not hard.
So I'm going to do that quickly, stop the car, and I'm just going to open the door and just be like, you might want to do your eye thing.
Oh, I'm going to immediately dominate and be like, forget this happened. Everything is fine. You just got a little woozy on the street.
You roll him over as his eyes are barely conscious. He does make eye contact with you for a moment as you speak to him, your voice penetrating his mind, his already weakened state. His eyes just slowly close, and his head goes slack. He's very pale, but his heart seems strong. You lick the wound shut. He is very weak, and hopefully someone finds him or he wakes up later.
And I'm going to grab him from the van, take him out, set him down on the side of the street.
Before he does, I'm just gonna cup his face really quick and just be like, I'm so sorry, and like let Acer take him back.
And as I sit him down in the alleyway as nicely as I possibly can, fold up his arms so he doesn't like fall to the ground either. And I'm just gonna get in and drive off.
You take off. You find as you close the door, the awkward silence really permeating. You've seen the type of ferocity before. You've seen the hunger, especially the last time that a hunger like that happened. You saw it on Grayson's face. A beast, savage, teeth bared, and neck deep into your sister, taking every ounce of her where he was barely able to pull away at the last second. But for Grayson, there was a fear and a panic, but a euphoria on his face. He enjoyed his feed. You come to expect that even from yourself to your begrudging. But Crescent, as you look over to her, you see her huddled in the back of the van, her knees up to her chest, as she is shaking, unable to stop. She makes no noises, as she is just wide-eyed and white-knuckling her leather jacket, trying to cradle herself, rocking ever so slightly. Crescent, in this moment, what does Acer see in detail? What do you feel right now?
He probably doesn't see anything vampiric. He probably sees all human.
For the first time,
all Haley.
For the first time, Acer, you're used to seeing Crescent as this terrifying force in the darkness, eyes that always watch you even when you don't know if she's there or not. But the first time, you look in that rearview mirror and see a young girl in dark, punkish leather attire, couldn't be more than 16 years old, vulnerable and alone and terrified.
Crescent.
She doesn't respond. She doesn't even flinch.
He kind of grabs his bag that he has on the passenger side and kind of throws it behind him. Crescent.
Yeah.
Come here. And he kind of gestures to the front seat right next to him.
I can't blow out this radio or whatever.
That's fine. There's nothing playing on the radio anyways. Come on.
She'll slowly but carefully make her way to the front seat. Never really been in the front seat all that much in this group.
It's odd, but in this moment, I would bet it feels kind of insecure. The flashes of streetlights every now and then flashing over you kind of cause you to wince as your mind realizes that you do to a pang of upset and irritation, you feel better. You're not as irritated. You're not hungry as bad. A little bit of it's still there, but the part that upsets you more about this is that you know you could have had a little bit more and felt better, and you wanted to not feel hungry at all for the first time in a long time. You really, for a moment, really wanted that to happen, and you start to feel that confliction of you almost killed a human. Not in rage, not by losing your temper, not by the normal Crescent way. You almost drank a human dry and took everything, and you were aware of it the whole time. Accidents happen, but this is different. This is personal.
What?
Look, I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised.
Surprise.
Huh? The fact that you, out of all of us, are not okay with drinking from people, it just surprises me. Even at the facility, I saw how you resisted and didn't want to. I have to ask, why such aversion? I mean, don't get me wrong, I value human life very highly, more than my own right now. But even I don't have that much aversion to what I do. I've killed people drinking them in the past. That's the first time I've ever seen a face like that.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it just reminds me of a different time. Before Miracle, I used to see different versions of myself, and then after her, all I see is her and my brother, and it's stupid.
No, not really.
I mean, we're kindred, we're above this. Yet I sit here and I break down. It's not normal. It's not.
Look, might not be normal for you, but even as I am, I still wish I could feel that bad about doing it. I know it's not my place, but I texted medical. Told her what was happening, what's going down.
What?
She has a right to know as your
friend. She doesn't
friend.
have a right to know. That puts her in danger.
That
you realize that, right? Like, that is putting her in danger. That's the whole reason that I keep her away from this shit. She doesn't get involved in this.
I talked to her and asked her to stay back and just have a little faith in us.
She's not going to listen to that. That's the thing.
She agreed.
And you believed her.
Well, if I want her to have faith in us, I gotta have faith in her. If she has more information, she can prepare better and live longer. It's better to be the shepherd than the sheep.
The way that she lives longer is by staying out of this whole fucking business.
But she's not gonna do that.
She needs to do that. She needs to accept that she needs to do that. Or she's as good as dead. Am I wrong? Is your family as good as dead and get involved in this? Would you allow your family to get involved in this?
Crescent, like Medico, they're already involved. That's the problem. It doesn't matter if they should or shouldn't be. They are. That's the reality. All we can do now is make sure that they don't get hurt, and staying out of it is a good way to do it, but if they're going to jump in headfirst anyways, they need to know what they're jumping into.
I'm sorry. You know what? Let's just...
No. There's too much silence. Too much not knowing about each other. You know what? I'm gonna admit something right now. When I first met you, I looked you up.
Looked me up?
Yeah, I'm a hacker. It's what I do. I know about your name. I knew about your family.
What did you find out?
Your past.
How much? How much?
Do you need a refresher, Acer?
No, I think I got the gist of it.
Okay.
He just doesn't want to go into detail.
Continue. Just making sure.
Yeah, thank you. I know that you went to a facility. I know that you were treated. And I know it's the exact same facility run by the exact same person we are all currently under right now. As a hacker, I pride myself in knowing things. Information is power, regardless of what Kindred can do. To me, information is still far more powerful than anything else.
So do you feel powerful now, knowing that?
No, and that's the problem. Because I don't know anything. So for once, instead of trying to find out through a screen, I'm asking you. Don't shut up. Talk. Tell me what's going on. Help me prepare. Help me have more information so I can help this group. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's kind of fucking obvious. I can't fight. I always have to be on the sidelines. Because I will die.
So what do you want to know that you haven't already looked up?
Your strengths. Your weaknesses. What drives you. Any of this stuff can be useful. If I know what you're weak to, I can help protect you. If I know what you're strong to, I don't have to get in your way.
I'm good with guns, and I'm not good at talking to people. I'm not good at etiquette. I'm not good at poisonous or resolve maintaining myself as a front, which is why going to the prince in a hungry state would have been very bad. I'm not good at containing myself, but I am... If you give me a gun, I'm damn good at a gun. And the thing that keeps me going... God, this is stupid. The thing that keeps me going is her, right now. And arguably you guys too, because you're getting under my skin in a good way, but that.
I suck at fighting. I can't hold a gun for shit. The only real skill I have is probably with the sword because of my kendo teacher. I usually use that to try and meditate and control the weird beast I have inside. Like you, though, I suck at communication. People are not a strong point on me. And...
Seems like we should leave the talking to Grayson.
Very much so.
Noted.
But, also like you, my family keeps me going. There's a reason why I'm alive.
And she's the reason why I'm alive. So I get it. And arguably, so is Grayson. I mean...
So I read. It's a joke. They're not that detailed.
Ha ha ha.
But, admittedly, I wouldn't be here without you guys either. I hate to admit it. I don't want to admit it. I'm going to. You guys have saved my life in more ways than one. Which is why I'm trying so damn hard to keep you alive. Because despite the fact that Medico has threatened my life several times, I still want you guys around. Look, case in point, you're good at fighting. Stick to that. I'll plan as much as I can, and Grayson will have your back. He can throw a punch. I've seen it. Hell, he tackled me to the ground our first meeting.
I remember.
Yeah, I had the smoke screen up, too. Typically, I could get away super quickly, but...
Acer.
Right.
Don't, no. Don't get a big ego, but, you're okay for a thin blood. Probably my favorite thin blood. And so long as I'm around, I'm not gonna let anything happen to you either. Part of this coterie.
You don't
right?
budge.
Fist bump. Break the tension. Weird moment.
I'll fist bump her.
Yes.
This seems like a good moment for our scene to fade out, but Crescent, answer honestly. Ever since you slaughtered those innocents in the alleyway and painted the walls with their blood, ever since you had the panic attack alone in a forgotten corner of the city, you began to feel colder and emptier. But after this moment, in being comforted through your pain, do you feel a bit of that warmth start to return?
Honestly,
go ahead.
Yes. Well, I would say honestly, yes. Her whole ambition was to find some place that she felt like she belonged. Find some place where she felt like she could be loved properly, and this is starting to feel like that.
In taking steps towards that ambition, you may remove that last bit of superficial willpower. Actually, sorry, you have 3 now. You may remove 3 superficial willpower.
Okay.
And I need you to roll me just a single die.
Single die?
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter if it's red or black?
Take it back.
Success.
I'll make a note of that. But for now, we're going to take a small break, as I believe after that wonderful scene, our players need a small breather for a second. Thank you so much for your patience, and we'll be back momentarily.
Married to the storyteller. Beware.
Oh.
Don't think she gets special treatment. I'm actually harsher on her than
No,
everybody else.
I don't. I get abused the most.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is that how you work out your fights, guys?
Oh yeah. we have a disagreement. I go basically, babe, you know what? I'm just gonna add one more die to Duncan's pool for the next roll. Anyway, we fade now back in, Acer and Crescent, after that very emotionally charged scene, the breaking of the tension with a fist bump. It's not long beyond that where you begin to pull into University Street towards the address that Onyx has given you. What'd you like to do?
No, nothing. Just
You
nothing.
sure?
I'm good.
So was there something you wanted to do? You have another second before you're there.
I was just gonna kind of grab Acer by the shoulder after the kind of fist bump and be like, by the way, I'm not stupid. Take care of her, okay?
I'll do my best.
I'll just leave it at that.
The van got a little colder.
Oh, look, we're here. Is that my dojo?
Not too far away, actually. Parking is a nightmare, as always, deeper into this part of the city, so it takes you a few moments as the moon is now beginning to rise higher in the sky. And Acer, as you and Crescent step out, you can't help but notice that everything begins to have the slightest tinge of a reddish hue as the moon slowly begins to turn into a blooded red. Appears tonight is a strange eclipse. Oh, that's not good. Following the address, you walk into the front of the apartment complex attached to the old photo studio as people still, even at this hour, come in and out towards the last bits of closing that this particular establishment has to offer. You go to the highest corner point, and Onyx, it's not long before you hear a...
Check the security camera.
Lean over and flick it on as... That's odd. That whole camera was flickering like fucking crazy. Guess the wiring's out again.
Is something going on?
No, I was hoping you wouldn't bring her. Okay. And I'll get up and kind of peek over through the door and look out at him.
You see, indeed, Crescent and Acer both standing there. One thing I'll notice with Crescent as she's kind of turned her head and wiped one side of her face, there seems to be a bit of blush on the side of her face. Looks like some kind of red stain that was there at one point that she has wiped away. She looks irritated. But that's usual for her.
All right, the door's open?
Yeah, you guys just kind of staring at her and she's looking at you.
I've got it cracked open a bit, and I'll be
I misunderstood. I thought you were looking through the peephole. I bet.
No.
Those are dangerous.
We're here for Grayson?
Yeah. I'll get him for you. Hold on. And I shut the door.
I'm just gonna stare at Acer. I told you she's fucking weird.
You heard that, by the way.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god,
Through
this
the door.
is so weird being mean to you. Ah!
Thanks, Crescent. And I'll head over to Grayson and tap him on the shoulder. Looks like your friends are here for you.
Okay. Time to go. Fair enough.
Hold on 1 sec, and I'll go over and grab a copy of our new contract and what information that I picked up on Discovery Park, and I'll head over to the door.
The door does open again as you two now see Onyx, who looks actually completely different than what you see her as yesterday, as her previous description for the sake of brevity. Grayson is standing behind Onyx, and his eyes are half closed, and he is smiling, a toothy grin, as he's kind of just looking around. Seems really happy to be here. And it's been a long time. Actually, you don't think you've ever seen Grayson smile like that before.
Well, I know immediately what this is.
Oh, yeah. You know a high boy when you see one.
So I kept him from killing someone, but the person he picked was a little,
I can see that. You
lion.
Is anybody better?
Well, you know what? When he was in a frenzy and there was literally one person around that wasn't me, no.
Grayson,
Okay.
Hey,
hey.
what's
Sure,
going on?
Yeah, you okay? Your pupils are a little bit, they're as wide as the moon tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm doing pretty good actually. You know?
Yeah?
Yeah, and that's pretty good.
Why don't you come with us and we'll get you something to eat? We gotta go meet the prince.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're kind of late for that.
I put my hand on his shoulder for a sec and be like, up. Who has my gun?
I did. Not anymore though.
Who'd you give it to, Grayson?
I'm gonna look back at Acer.
I kind of like let my head slide to the side and just look at Crescent like, that one.
Big smile.
I hired her.
Grayson, I don't fucking care.
He did, actually, and I will pull out the contract and hand that to Acer, and I'm like, you can go over the details of that later.
It's about
I do
8
have more
pages of very
for
small
you.
print.
I'm gonna lean over Acer's shoulder. Grayson, what did you do?
I told you, I hired her. She's an investigator.
Why?
Because we need a good eye, and she's got 2 of them.
So, does that mean she's coming over to the print to see the prince with us?
Oh, no, that's not in the
you-
contract. We can meet up after your appointment because I have another appointment right now.
All right, fair enough. Just give us Grayson and we'll leave. Come on, let's go. Grayson.
Okay, bye.
Attaboy. Come on.
Talk to you later.
We'll give you something to eat soon.
I'm gonna grab Grayson by the shoulder and just pull him.
Oh,
All right, be back later.
really strong.
Crescent.
I'm just gonna stop for a second. Yes, Onyx.
The Beretta, please.
Onyx, you do watch as she kind of like reaches for her pocket. And she kind of looks and she kind of pats the pocket. She kind of pats her other pocket. At this point, Crescent, if you wanted to try and lie, you could try.
I'm not gonna try and lie to a Malkavian. I'm a little bit smarter than that.
I was just saying the option was there.
I know better.
So, Onyx, for a moment, you kind of like tilt your head, the smile kind of fading a little bit as Crescent seems to almost be in a momentary bit of panic, where she kind of reaches to her back pocket and pulls out your Beretta.
I will walk straight back to her, and I will take her hand, put it in her hand, and be like,
You immediately feel the powder residue touch your fingertips. And she just touched you with her hands.
I'm going to quickly grab it and try and put it in the back of my skirt and start wiping my hand off on the skirt. But I'm still going to have a smile and trying to hide it and being like, shoots great, doesn't it?
I'm going to put my hands in my pockets and just be like, thank you for taking care of Grayson. And I'm going to turn on my heel and go right back up to Acer. And
I call after her anytime, honey.
I just got to, for a moment, grit my teeth.
Crescent, that would be antagonization. Give me give me a composure plus etiquette. And Onyx, I would say for this, go ahead and give me a charisma plus intimidation.
Alright, there's only 2 dice involved in this. Is there any way of me winning?
It's a competitive roll. We'll see what happens. Social
One
situations
success.
are fun.
It's a crit, but it doesn't really matter. 1 success.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a lot of those.
Oh man,
Oh, this might hurt.
I have
This
an
might
idea if
hurt.
this fails.
This might hurt.
Oh, this is great.
I'm gonna kind of seize into Acer and just kind of grab his shoulder and just dig in a little bit, just
Oh
a
no.
little stress.
What we got,
point.
Onyx? Oh no, Crescent. Well, it's a good thing you had a good immense moment, because as you're walking away, you kind of smirk to yourself and like, yeah, I got this. It's good. And then she says what she says, and it immediately feels like a railgun from point blank just shot through your back out your front as you immediately begin clutching extremely tightly onto Grayson's shoulder. Grayson, you're like, ow, that hurts.
Oh, Why are you squeezing so hard? Are you okay?
I'm fine, Grayson. I'm fine, Grayson.
Are
I'm
you
just really happy. I'm
the
really happy you're here.
jacket's getting scrunched.
Guys, just get in the car, please. As I start pushing them.
And as you all get into the car, and Crescent, you hop into the back as you normally would, the back door slamming, kind of cloaking you with darkness. You are pissed. That was embarrassing beyond belief, and that Lasombra pride in you is in full spite right now that this smiling, pretty girl just sassed you the way she did in front of your friends, in front of your coterie, and an all superior, and you walked away. You take 4 points of superficial willpower damage, as the shame you feel is excruciating.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna be great.
I paid you back.
I'm gonna drive away
she's
quickly.
Okay, there is a slew of curses happening as soon as she gets in the car.
As soon as you speed away,
Drive.
Acer, you just hear Crescent just stringing out a slew of curses that, in all frankly honest, would break Twitch TOS. As you hear a hard boop as you look over, there's now a Crescent fist-sized dent in the side of the interior of the van.
I might have something that'll make you feel better, Crescent.
What?
She didn't ask for the book back.
I'm meeting you later.
I'm kicking Acer's
It hits hard. You almost slapped your face on the steering wheel.
Everything that I said before, I retracted.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Hear the small medical voice in the back of your mind saying, "Don't worry, if she threatens you, she likes you."
Oh, shit. Crescent.
So great.
Crescent, he's inebriated.
Not inebriated. I'm high. There's a difference. Medically.
Wow, that must be so nice, Grayson. That must be very nice.
Yep.
Okay.
All this time, you fucking put me down for, like, being high, and now he's just sitting here. I don't know how to feel about this.
I feel like we should get something in him before meeting the prince, because this is not a good look.
Sure.
Unless he feeds on someone else. We already know how my blood works.
I'm gonna hold out my wrist to Grayson.
I mean, I could eat if, like, you're offering.
You should eat.
Titan, bon appetit. Hurry, please.
Ooh.
Now,
Like,
don't take a lot.
I am, like, put on an imaginary, like, napkin in my under my shirt, and then ow, and I take a bite.
It is Grayson has taken a nip out of you before, Crescent, as you guys have exchanged blood for the sake of disciplines. Grayson has always had a very firm and calculated bite. This felt like you just got nommed on by a toddler. As he gushes himself up for his snack, he sits down and and for a minute you get nothing but lip. And then delayed fangs shoot out into your veins very uncharismatically. That hurts. And Grayson, you do take a sip. Even the smallest amount, though, immediately floods your senses and your mind as the strength of Crescent's potency quickly overwhelms your system. I'm already going to say it, you only need to take 1 hunger from her because technically it would equate to 2 for you. So you're at 1 hunger, but Crescent's now at 2. It almost immediately... That giddy, happy feeling evaporates instantaneously. Immediately... the world becomes extremely dark and depressing and stressful, and the realization of everything that has happened from last night to now comes hitting on top of you like a fucking semi-truck.
It's one of the, like, as Grayson has the blood flows in him, like, as his eyes go from, like, halfway, they go wide and just let go of her very slowly and just...
There it is. Welcome back.
No, before you even say a single syllable.
Are you good? I'll lick the wound shut.
Just let go of her wrist. That is not to be spoken of.
Look, I already have enough evidence on you of being funny, so...
God. Oh, no.
As you sober up, your mind immediately wanders back to, I really hope that guy in the alleyway woke up. It did rain last night.
Oh, no, he is... Oh, dear. Oh,
Okay, Grayson? Because your center was just fine last night.
Okay, nothing else happened, right?
Grayson, everything's fine. We're going to meet the prince right now. We are late, and we are going to be shooting a movie at the park.
You cordoned it off that quickly.
Yeah. I, had to use a favor.
By the way, let me get this straight. You hired her.
Yes, I did.
Why?
Think about it. She found out I was alive. She's not connected with any of the Kindred world. She's stated.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Yes, and that also means she's very good at what she does, investigating. A keen eye. That's what we need. That's what we are lacking. Everybody seems to have a leg up, always 3 folders of information on us. I want our own.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Let's just go meet the prince and get this over with, because I can already predict there's a lot of yelling involved, if not our deaths tonight. Which, I'm going to say, DM, I did leave that letter on Medico's desk before I left.
I'm aware.
Prince.
Yeah.
We can already predict how this is going to go.
We are very late.
We're not very late. We're just late enough for probably him to be angry.
When is he not? Yes.
Touche!
Quite a bit to do.
If I'm reading the situation correctly, our group has had the most experience dealing with him because we are the only ones who seem to be physically able to reach him. So, more than likely...
I got a shot off on him.
You did. It was a fine shot, by the way. Nearly saved me.
You got a claw attack.
Great.
I mean, that was really awesome, too. So, good on you, Grayson.
It wasn't enough, but I learned something very interesting about him again.
Case
that
in
he's
point.
working for somebody?
He has somebody in his back pocket.
Say, I'm sorry, what?
I mean, he communicated with somebody that night.
Yeah, no, after I had made that shot, and after Grayson made his claw through, he touched his ear, and he seemed to be talking to somebody before he bolted. Which means he's not doing this alone. Yes.
Of course, soldiers follow commands, and I brought just enough equipment to ping it.
How are you going to ping that? Don't you have to have, the earpiece right in front of you?
Earpieces use Bluetooth to signal to a phone, or some other packet that sends out a signal. All I have to do is use my little mini dish that I happen to bring with me. Didn't think that was going to be very useful. And right off the signal. All I have to do is find it. And since they just quarantined off the entire forest, finding one signal is like literally finding a fire in a forest. It's not going to be hard. However, you two have fought him the most, so what do we need in order to take him down?
A lot of firepower.
He needs to be immobilized. That's the thing. He's quick, tactful.
That is the main thing that I would say, is that he's tactful. We need to bring that up to the prince. Prince may have resources, but we are dealing with an armed soldier here. Somebody who's fought in wars, somebody who is tactful, somebody who knows when to retreat.
Okay. We know he can shift into an eagle, so that definitely has to get told to him. We don't want any birds flying in and out of that place.
Which maybe we can get some help from Sebastian, the Gangrel Baron. He is Gangrel.
I mean, whoever the prince already has in the meeting up there is probably going to be what we have for backup.
All right, so let's go deal with the prince and see what we're dealing with first and see if our heads are going to get ripped off. Then we'll try and devise a plan, hopefully, if he is sane enough to talk to. So,
really quick, if anyone asks, we're in the movie.
Always wanted to be in a movie.
Movie? Right.
I'm carrying around a giant Odachi. Police are gonna wonder.
Also a fair point.
And real quick, just so I have a note of it, Onyx, just so I know, where will you be heading for your evening until meeting up with your crew?
I will be fixing makeup a little bit now that they've left, and fixing up my hair, and then heading out to El Corazon.
Okay. Are there any specific roleplay beats you'd like to touch upon, or do you want to make it simple for you?
It's simple. I have to check in with Az, and then I need to eat.
Okay, so there's nothing specific you want to flesh out with Az?
I'm good.
Okay, just want to be sure. If there was, I just want to give you the grace for it, so everybody has their time. For the sake of this, if you're just checking with Az, Starset has flooded the house. It is a full house, plenty to feed on. A lot of softer core members of your scene, as well as in the classic ones that just enjoy the scenery, are all in the full excitement as the whole full headline is hit at this point. Az is relieved and told to see that you're okay. Does not show a lick of memory of you looking like Swiss cheese from the earlier day, now that you're wearing your fresh attire. You do both exchange quite a bit of banter as he continues to try and up one the sass on you, but as always, he always gives in to that pretty smile. For the sake of this, go ahead and give me it's like a feeding as you begin to blend into the crowd, blending in with the music and blending amongst the others. People give you high fives. They recognize your face. Your natural fame and beauty really remediating this place as the energy of the room just skyrockets. You even see with the lead singer kind of pointing you and give you a wink as you join into the center of the mosh pit. For this, go ahead and give me a charisma plus streetwise. Go ahead and add your fame and beauty to this.
Okay.
Just so you can nail down a hunt.
Yeah. Holy shit. Okay.
It's amazing what happens when you've rooted yourself
It's
so
bigger
well.
than my hand. Can I try and make that better?
If you want to burn a willpower, or you want to rouse, yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to, despite having a bajillion dice.
So do you burn a willpower, or are you rousing to try and get an extra die?
Willpower.
Okay, you can re-roll up to 3 black die.
Okay, good. Much better. 5.
5 successes. It's not very hard for you to grab a handsome man out. He's probably about 6'2". Appears definitely that his tattoos are his style. Very short fade cut off the side, much similar to yours as yours normally would be, but much shorter and much more kept. But at this point, he is glistening with sweat as he's been in the middle of the crowd. And the moment you both make eye contact, as you are in the middle of the mosh, you just kind of give him that wide smile and grab him by the hand, and he immediately begins falling wherever you want to take him. He doesn't even bat an eyelash.
Towards the back a little bit.
Currently, the resonance he's holding is sanguineous and full of energy, but he's clean. Maybe a little tipsy, a little alcohol you can smell on his breath, but nothing severe. He seems to be one of the cleaner individuals despite the appearance he carries.
Sounds good.
How much do you take?
2?
2 it is.
Alright. So yeah, I'm good, and if I don't hear from them in the next couple hours, then I'll head over to the facility. But I'm not suicidal, so I'm not going to visit the prince with them.
No worries. Understandable. I just want to make sure you get your time in too. But now we move over back to our coterie. As Acer, you pull into the Emerald Tower as you're instructed. You already can tell that tensions are high, because as soon as you pull into the garage, there are 6 armed individuals in very, very nice suits with very slightly geometric pattern designs inlaid into the velvet of their attire. The reason you can tell that they're armed, 2 of them are standing by an elevator with shotguns, and the other 2, as their jackets are pulled back, each of them are holstered high-caliber handguns. The moment you pull up, one man steps in front of their vehicle, stopping you, while the other walks around and just opens your door. Just nods his head for you to get out.
And I immediately do so. I know we can't have our stuff, so I will leave my stuff in the car.
The head does lean in, and Grayson Cressy, you can't see him, and he does reaffirm, out. He's waiting.
I get out of the vehicle, I straighten myself up best I can, and make my way over to the elevator.
Surprisingly enough, you are the most raggedy one here for the first time, as both Acer and Cressy have had a chance to freshen up. You're clean at least, but there's a gouging hole in one side of your attire.
I'll fix that later.
Is this the same guard that I encountered my very, very first Vampire Masquerade session?
It is.
Who's giving me shit?
It is. And he is giving you just dagger eyes the entire time, waiting for you to get out as well.
I'm going to carry my head held high, and I'm going to step out and step to where I need to go.
He closes the door a bit abruptly against your tail, just a little bit too close for comfort. You just kind of grit through and keep moving. These guys definitely seem very on edge. More than just they've been giving orders. They are stressed. You can smell it in the air almost. It's like a hazy pheromone. But they walk you towards the opposite side of the parking garage, away from prying eyes, toward the same secluded elevator that takes you straight to the penthouse. They open the elevator. One doesn't step inside with you, as there's too many this time. He leans over, he taps his badge on the security panel, and he just watches as the door slowly closes and you all begin to ascend.
Well, if I get my head torn off, just torch all my stuff, would you?
You're gonna be fine.
Sure.
The important thing here is Duncan. And if the prince can't see that, then he's not a prince worth obeying, right?
Correct. If anything, we've done more against Duncan than anybody else has.
A bunch of neonates at that.
Let's just hope his fear does not overcome his logic. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I talked to him on the phone, he was not as composed as he usually is. And I mean the word composed in the most loose sense possible.
Look, if something happens tonight, I appreciate you guys. I mean that.
If ever I had come to shepherd any more kindred, I'd want them to be exactly like you all.
Oh, well.
I'm gonna take both their hands.
Kind of takes Grayson by surprise. She, goes for his hand. I've known her to never do that.
As it gets more and more to the top, you feel him kind of squeeze a little more as the nerves start to get in.
Whatever happens, we face it as coterie. That's what we are now, right?
Till the bitter end.
Till the final death. And I'll squeeze the hand and wait for the elevator to open.
As soon as you squeeze the hand, both their hands, a coterie standing united. You watch as that ticker on the elevator, 10th, 12th, 15th, 21st floor, ding. The elevators open in. When that door opens, you already hear Dragos. Come in!
I will take the lead on this. I'll march forward.
I will be right behind her.
And I will take the rear.
I'm for once taking the lead.
As a unit, you all walk in. And Dragos' normal foyer is not in his normal layout with his very luxurious furniture that would allow him to relax and enjoy the city view. Tonight, as you look upon, come around the corner into the main foyer, you see a very large, round, deep mahogany table with a brilliant velvet red tablecloth across the entire of it. Very expensive. In the center, on each side of the rounded table, two sets of very opulent candelabras and a chandelier. You see Dragos sitting at the center of this table. His eyes poised in the hallway as you all walk in, unmoving. But that's not what catches you off guard. But first off, he doesn't look angry. He doesn't look furious. His eyes just look at you all with a very cold, calculating expression that does not blink or waver, but his hands are furled in front of his mouth while he rests on his elbows. But what you do see that catches you off guard. Crescent, you see Eleonora standing beside him, a hand on his shoulder. She's not dressed in a normal formal gown. She's dressed in black leather. Handmade leather trousers, high-waist, thigh-high boots, and a very thick, sleeveless leather vest over her top, her hair pulled back. Still a little bit jewelry, but nothing ostentatious. You see on her hip a string of silvery knives. You've never seen her dressed like this. You see also, sitting at the table, Maldavis. As she leans back next to Dragos, her hair pulled back out of her face. You see another individual you don't recognize, a very fair-skinned woman with a half-cut fade that comes down over the side, much as some of my hairs in real life. One center beauty mark on the one side of her face, beautiful angulite structure and piercing reddish-brown eyes that she doesn't sit up straight. She kind of leans on one side of her elbow like she's bored to be here, but she does look over to you as you all walk in. And to your irritation, another individual is standing out by the window looking over the city as that red moon begins to fill, casting the city in a deeper red haze. You see Genghis. As you all step in, Dragos just waves a hand to the opposite 3 open spots.
I go into the chair and I sit down and fold my leg over.
I will kind of mimic what I've seen Eleonora do and either like curtsy or kind of like a half bow before sitting down in my spot.
There is no grace to Acer. He just plop sits.
Thank you, you 3, for finally deciding to join us. I hope that the time spent keeping us waiting was useful.
Had to gather everything up and come just as prepared as everyone else.
I see you've seen the news.
Yeah, a little acting gig. Very clever, actually. Wouldn't have thought of that.
That's why I'm in charge. So, let's just go ahead and cut to the chase, shall we?
Means.
What I'm about to say in this room doesn't leave this room under any circumstance. If I ever hear for a moment that it does leave this room, I will personally find you down myself, and I will rip your head off with my bare hands. Is that understood?
Take it as gospel, of course, my prince.
He does smile a little bit, nodding his head to you, Grace. I bet you all are wondering why our guests are here tonight with us, sitting in my home, in my tower.
I assume it's a raid?
No, it's not a raid. I've already done that part, so let me make the situation clear without the facade. I have pulled my contacts, and I have locked down Discovery Park. I trust that you all are very confident in saying this is where his domain was, so I took a chance, Acer, and I listened to your suggestion. As I said, I pulled in my contacts. Yes, the front is we're filming a movie. That's simply to cover up any potential masquerade problems that people might hear. That space, for now, until the sun rises tomorrow, is free game. Any human that's still in that area, that hasn't been stopped by that perimeter, needs to be disposed of, just as a precaution. I only say that as a preference because that means I'm giving you full permission to use the extent of your abilities to bring Duncan down.
That is the desire of all of us.
And in return, you know what? Paul Davis, she does lean up and look at him. Do me a favor and explain the situation to them and what we've come to terms with. Fair enough. She does lean over and does give you all a smile. It's good to see you all are still part of the night. I had wondered what had happened ever since I heard Grayson's untimely accident. I'm going to make this very clear. We are not friends. We have our side of the city. You have yours. Granted, our side is much smaller. We do our best. But this, after Dragos has approached me, to my surprise, is much bigger than Anarch versus Camarilla. This is about survival. I want to make something very clear here, Mr. Holland. I didn't order that hit on you. I didn't order Duncan to come after La Sombra either. In fact, I didn't give Duncan any orders.
So it's coming after La Sombra specifically?
Yes. You see, when you all turned down my agreement that night at the Elysium, when I had offered you to join our side, to give us Valenkoff, to bring the La Sombra into the Anarch fold, you turned your noses to us. And while I understood, I'd rather you all be my enemy than a forced ally. Since then, Eleonora and her hounds have been picking us off one by one, and we've been fighting back tooth and nail against the chaos in the city.
So why are you here?
Because Duncan has grown to be too much of a liability. So here's the thing, Crescent. Anarchs and Camarilla may have their disagreements. There's one thing that does bind us in similarity and common ground, and that is the Masquerade. She kind of looks over at Genghis for a moment. He goes, just shrugs. The Masquerade is above all. Our main difference is that we just don't feel it's right to be ruled over by a tyrant. Dragos just kind of tilts his head, but he says nothing. So, when the Sombra were granted access within the Camarilla and offered safe harbor, and the Anarchs were unable to do anything about it. After all, we didn't have a say. Why would we? At least it was a farce anyway.
You seem quite bitter about this, so why are you here?
As I said, little Sombra, it's a matter about survival. For when La Sombra joined the Camarilla, Duncan came to me. He's been in the city for some time, helping us plot, tactics, prepare.
Duncan came to you.
Duncan is part of us. When La Sombra joined the Camarilla, Duncan took that as a threat. He was there that night, he saw what happened. And immediately after we had left, he wished to discuss further about finding a way to exterminate every single La Sombra out of this city. I told him he was too ambitious, too dangerous. Our numbers were too few, and he would be costing us our own suicide. He was ambitious, and he was confident that his skill alone could do it. I told him no. I ordered him to stand down. And that's when he blew up in my face. Called me a weakling of a leader and a traitor to our cause, allowing the Camarilla to gain this much strength overnight. And he tried to kill me. He is an old-fashioned one, born of war, so to speak. He feels I committed treason against our cause and felt it just to try and execute me as a result.
So how are you alive?
He obviously failed. You see, you're not the only one with many allies. And while Duncan has a reputation for getting things done, he's not very well liked. Let's just say that. His personality is about as comfortable as sandpaper thong.
So who's working with him then?
As far as I know, he's working alone.
No, he's not.
Dragos does.
What she's trying to say is during their combat,
He talked
Duncan
into an
ended up-
earpiece. Like he was talking to somebody else.
yeah, like he was getting orders from somewhere.
Juggles does look over to Mama Davis, who he looks back at her. She shakes her head. That may be them, but we have no proof on our side on who it might be, as I made it very clear that no one is to work with Duncan. He may be an anarch for the cause. He may be trying to, as he would call it, shepherd the weak. But he's not under my authority. So, we have pulled all support for Duncan. In the light of his most recent events, he has caused too much chaos in the city. He has stirred too many waters. His tactics have become too brazen. It's risky and it's dangerous, and it's now brought something on our heads that affects us all. So, Dragos and I have made a deal. A deal that mutually benefits us both. We pull all protection and support from Duncan, and we turn a blind eye to whatever happens to him tonight. Whether he dies, he meets the final death, if he escapes and never comes back to the city, I don't care. But we turn a blind eye to it, and we promise not to retaliate. In exchange, 10 of my anarchs will be added to a no-touch list. Meaning 10 of my people can now coexist within the city freely, free of reprisal, free from harassment, free from scrutiny, and be left alone. I, of course, am on that list, and the ones you see in this room are also on that list. As well as 7 others. I refuse to tell you who.
I'm going to stare at Genghis.
I was just about to say.
Yeah,
actually,
I'm glaring right
shoots at
towards Genghis.
If you look to him, he does look back at you guys, and you can see that champagne smug smile crack his face.
If I may, how do we know that this wasn't planned from the beginning? I am not pointing fingers. I am merely playing a little bit of devil's advocate. For clarity.
Eleonora leans over to Dragos and just says, I won't be there to help them. You might as well just tell them the truth so they know what they're getting into. Dragos does nod his head.
Watching her closely.
He keeps his hands furled and he leans in very close to the table. The way I know at this point that even though they're anarchs, they can be trusted. At the core of it, all of us crave one thing, and one thing only. That is to survive. The first Inquisitions burned down our homes, strung us into the sun, and ashed us to oblivion. When our numbers were destroyed, that's when the original Court of Thorns was formed, on the basis of survival. And now our city's survival is on the line. I have received word that the Camarilla that supersede us as a city have now grown wary of Seattle's state. They grow wary about our control over the city and question our ability to keep the populace in line and unaware. Between the anarchs revolting publicly now, Sebastian defecting from the Camarilla and his territory now going to the anarchs.
Wait, Sebastian?
Mr. Demure has publicly withdrawn his support from the Camarilla in light of the recent events. The whispers of Duncan's fanning the flames for revolt as a gangrel he sided with Duncan.
So, the Green Lake territory.
It's gone. It's no longer safe for us. And to make matters worse, if my complications haven't already become more difficult, word had reached me that, again, as I said, the higher-ups that supersede my authority. Now these Kindred, these Camarilla, are old. Some of these are old enough to have seen the Court of Thorns themselves and lived to tell a tale. Those from London and other areas of the world. We question our authority and our strength and have sent an Archon to us.
Would I know what this word means?
You have no clue.
Okay.
Would I?
Give me a intelligence plus politics.
2 successes.
2 successes. The term is very vague. Virtual mentioned something about it, something that like exists like outside the prince, much like Mr. Myers is, but not the same word. They exist outside the realm of territory within the city, as far as you would know. But Dragos does see the slightly perplexed look and confused faces of your companions. He puts a small hand up. I don't blame you all if you're unclear about the status of what an Archon is. Most cities shouldn't have to worry about it. And thanks to the chaos that's been brought down upon our city, and I will admit the complications that have been unforeseen thanks to La Sombra now joining us, an Archon has been sent. Essentially, what an Archon is a judge and executioner. You see, within the Camarilla, and even, as I detest to admit, even among anarchs, the Masquerade is law, no matter the situation. While I have not spoken to them as an individual yet, as they will not speak to me until they are here in 3 days' time, I suspect they are coming to judge every single one of us. Judge the state of the city. Judge the state of how things are being run. The Camarilla as a whole, and even the anarchs involved. And we are deemed lacking. This Archon will see it that none of us see another moon rise. This Archon, this individual, this kindred, is stronger than even myself alone. And no doubt has the backing of the Camarilla behind it, and will purge this city until we're nothing but ash. All responsible, all who they deem worthy to be punished, will face them.
So basically, it doesn't matter. So long as he gets dealt with, we all live.
But here's the caveat, and I want you to understand the stakes here. And this is why I'm having a very small meeting. This is why my council is not here. The Primogen are not here. The Barons are not here. Only these anarchs are here. This must be handled quietly. You three, as well as the rest of the hounds, Baboneka and Alexa, are going to be the only ones to do this. Because let me make something very clear with the stakes here. The Archon won't stop at just us. They're going to ensure that any potential leak of the Masquerade is dealt with. No loose ends. No frayed edges. Everything clean and cut. Which means, if you all, the 5 of you, and whoever else is involved, can't bring Duncan to me with a stake in his chest for me to wrap a nice little pretty bow around and drop at the Archon's feet for him to show that we are capable of handling ourselves, you won't stop at us. Every person you've ever met, every person you've ever loved, every single person that you even had the slightest fucking thought to embrace will never see another sunrise. And no one will even know it disappeared. As suspicious and unfortunate I find myself in this position, now do you see why I happen to trust Al Davis's word on this subject?
Yes. Yeah.
I can only guarantee that I can lock down his territory for one night. As far as my reports go, from my men, as I'm aware he's a gangrel, I'm aware of his ability to possibly fly. He may not be the oldest in the world, but he's notable. And he's formidable as an individual, and this is the first time in probably over a couple centuries that we've had him blocked into a corner. It's not the first time he's come after the Camarilla. If he escapes, it won't be the last. This time, if he leaves, his plan is secure. Not only will La Sombra have been dealt with permanently in the city of Seattle, but every Camarilla that he despises will meet their final death, and the anarchs that he despises and thinks so cowardly and a betrayer to his cause will also meet the death. He just has to wait for the time to tick up.
So we don't let that time tick.
Exactly. I can only hold him guaranteed for one night. The longer I give him time to prepare, the more likely he's going to find a way to weave through the cracks, and then he will disappear like a ghost. If what you all say is true and he has help, then we can't trust anyone outside of this room. Camarilla or Anarch, it doesn't matter. This has to be dealt with. Eleonora will act as our contact. She is going to meet this Archon and secure and escort his safety, or her safety, into our tower. And in 3 days' time, we will hold an Elysium, a public Elysium, where every Baron, every Anarch, any official of the city will be forced to be present.
Then we got some information to go over.
Hear a voice behind you, very gruff. Right by your ear, as this very dog-faced, dark-skinned Nosferatu smiles. Don't worry, I'll be here as well. Alexa's running scout for me.
Where is she?
She's on Duncan's border, checking
Right
the
now?
perimeter, gathering information. Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Well, we have a lot of information on him we need to go over, so everyone has the best chance of not dying while engaging him.
He spins your chair around so you're looking point blank at him, his nose almost touching yours. Don't worry, little thin blood. I am more than capable of helping you with tactics. Oh, this will be a fun fight. One to remember. Soldier to soldier, tooth to claw. This will be a fight for the ages.
Right, so let's do it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to distract his attention away from you, sir.
I just imagine him like right here.
He
like,
is.
Like,
oh, God.
Ayoneka, ready for this?
He continues to be just right in Acer's face. You can smell the rancid stench of rot and death coming off his breath. In fact, it's not just his breath, it's all of him. He is filthy and grimy, matted hair up in front of his face as he just slowly tilts his head over to Crescent. Oh, don't worry, sister. I was born ready for this. I will meet you all in the other room where we can speak privately in a moment. I'll be working with you all. Finally lets go of Acer's chair. You can see where his hands were. There are now fingered indents into the armchair of the wood as he straightens up his back. And he begins starting away into the other room as Drago sighs. Forgive Ravneka's enthusiasm. Let's just say he's been itching for a chance to feel like a soldier again. It's been a long time since he's seen any type of...
Hope he likes D-Day, because that's where we're going to be getting with Duncan.
Use your... glorious!
I'm gonna look up to Eleonora.
I don't know if
Eleanor just looks back at you. She seems very stern, but she nods. That is where we're at right now. We're leaving immediately to meet the Archon. Guide him safely to Seattle. You all are going to be in charge of this, whatever you deem necessary. The only condition is that Duncan must be brought back. Torpid, but still existing. He cannot meet the final death under any circumstance, and he cannot escape. He must be brought in.
Right. Torpid.
Well, Davis leans in. My associate Anita and I have compiled all the information we know about Duncan. All of his mental traits, everything that we would think that he might have at his disposal, as far as we know before he did what he did. I've already passed all the information over to Alaneko, who has been very, very eager in the planning stages of this. He is an interesting character.
Right, then, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to waste any more time, and I want to get this situated, so if we're done, I would like to excuse myself to help out with the planning.
Dragos leans back at his chair. Well said, voice of the thin blood. I won't be personally joining you, as I now have other fires to establish within the city. Very quickly, I might add. Again, I can't stress this enough. I know how all of you think of me. I can smell it off you every time you walk in. But our personal difference aside, I will be honest. You three have been individuals that I can remotely trust within this city to actually get things done when they are being told. No games, no political antics, no sleight of hand and backstabbing. You've shown loyalty. You don't have to like me. Fuck, I don't care if you like me. But you do as you're told. And that's what makes good Camarilla. So don't fail me now, or we all pay the price. You all are dismissed. We all have things to attend to. And I, for one, have a long night ahead. Let's do you.
Acer will get up and kind of maybe a bit too eager, and he's interesting enough. He's going to keep an eye on the new person with a little bit of suspicion.
You've already lost sight of him.
Oh, okay, then never mind. Just be like, excuse me. And he will walk out and try to follow the stench to see if we can't find our new friend.
What about you, Grayson?
A question.
Yes.
Leader of the Anarchs, her name is Mal Davis, you said?
Yes.
I'd like to walk over to Mal Davis.
As she's getting up, adjusting her business attire and straightening herself up, she does look at you as she begins stepping up. Immediately you can see Genja stepping up behind her. Anita, not really moving too quickly, but Genja does step up pretty close behind her, looking down at you with a smile.
Mal Davis.
Mr. Holland, good to see you still exist.
As am I. Too much work to be done still.
Likewise.
Indeed. And I hold out my hand. No hard feelings. Truthfully. Situation calls for a little bit of amnesty when it calls for us to come together.
Give me a charisma plus etiquette.
I don't think charisma's my thing. No, that's not terrible. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm sad that crit was there, but 4 in total.
Okay.
Damn it.
You actually present yourself very neutrally. And you kind of meet eye to eye with Mal Davis. You're a little bit taller than her. But she does tilt her head to you ever so slightly, and she does reach out her hand, give it a firm, very firm shake, and then she just slowly pulls you in. Her lips by your ear. Don't forget, I warned you. When the Camarilla turned their back on you, just remember I gave you a chance. She gives your hand one final shake, where she slides past you.
I look back to her, she goes, always room for second chances, in case you ever change your mind.
You just hear again, just... Take care of that center, dead boy. As Gin just kind of shoulder checks you, following Mal Davis out of the room.
I rapid reflex and I put my hand on his shoulder. Storyteller, how many people died in my center that night?
10.
I believe it was around 10.
10.
As I grab onto his shoulder and say, I'm dead. But the dead never forget, Genghis. I'll have those 10 back one day. Go for it.
Give me a charisma plus intimidation.
Is everybody okay if I take from the blood bag?
I want you to win. I take all of it. I want you to win.
I will take 2 dice from that. I want to take it all.
Okay, you take 2 dice from the blood pool.
Derek approves.
Yeah. I'm going all in on this one. All right,
yeah.
Screw it. I'll take 4 successes. It's not amazing, but dang it.
4 successes.
I was hoping my rapid reflex would freak him out.
This is what happens. As you rapid reflex and you just grab onto him before he even has time to shoulder check you, you clasp onto his shoulder with an iron grasp, and you pull him towards you. He's taller than you, and you pull him down towards you, so that way his ear is right by your mouth as you whisper your threat. You feel
and then I let go and tap him on the back. But still, good to see you.
You feel him stiffen as you whisper your threat, and you watch as that smile fades. He looks at you with a squinted eye. He slowly straightens back up and watches as he walks away from you as he rolled 3 successes.
I'm not good at intimidation, but I'm going to. I love it when it works.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. I have goosebumps.
I don't make a note of that.
But as I let go of him, give him that tap and the saying, I turn back to the prince. I give him a bow, my prince.
You actually see, as you look to the prince, he does lean back and he actually smiles at you and nods. Easy, Mr. Holland. Remember, I am hosting neutral ground. I wouldn't want any breaches of etiquette now, would I? But you see there's a small lightness to his phrasing and a very wide fanged smile as he watches Genghis leave his home.
Apologies, my prince. The night is very exciting.
That's okay. We're all under quite a bit of stress tonight. Aren't we, Genghis? He looks back as Mal Davis just puts a hand on his shoulder. You can watch as she actually grabs him by his scuff and turns his head the other way. Seems that Camarilla socially won this fight.
And I will follow the trail of my coterie members.
And on that note, tonight, let's put a pause in our story. But before we go, there's one small bit of business we need to touch on. Crescent, you have 2 stains. I need you to roll your empty humanity for me, please.
Oh, we're doing that now. Okay.
It is at the end of sessions.
4 dice. That's already a success.
Okay.
2 successes.
As you feel your resolve harden, that mortal boy is alive to say another day. For the blood you took for him, as horrible as it made you feel, you now see that you needed it. You needed the strength to survive. You need the strength to protect your friends. You need the strength to finish what needs to be done. And that small ember that exists inside you, that hollow light that's been clinging to existence, begins to brighten. You think of your companions, how Acer would throw himself on the line to save you, how Grayson would do whatever it took to also help you. Gain a point of humanity back, Crescent. As your light won't extinguish just yet.
I love it. I love it.
I do do apologize about the tech difficulties right there for a second. Our resident Malkavian had to dip out for the evening because our game did run a bit later thanks to that tech issue. So I had to do a rapid adjustment at the worst time. We'll see how...
Oh no, that comes with all the feelings.
And we will have to deal with that when it happens. But for now, thank you all so much for joining us tonight for this much later game than normal. Through the tech issues and all, we made it to a point where I was happy to be for tonight. So, everyone keep an eye out with Seattle, folks. During this blood moon, seems like a big film production's in tow. Keep an eye out. There might be leaks. Who knows what can come around when Hollywood comes to town. Beneath the surface, to our kindred friends. Be smart. Be careful. Because a special guest will be coming soon. As this Archon, when they show, will be played by no other than Mr. Macabre Derek himself. As he is the one who started the 7-day plot, he will be the one to see it to the end. So stay tuned for that excitement, folks. And we'll see you all next time. Good night, everyone.